आवाज नहीं आ रही है।
Okay. I hope you can hear us now, Vijay ji. Vijay sir, can you hear
Yes,
us?
yes, now we can hear.
Okay, great. Thank you. Sorry. So back to Nitesh ji. He's also a certified ISO 14001 lead auditor and has worked extensively with pollution control boards, urban local bodies, and agricultural departments, contributing significantly to India's circular economy and sustainable waste to energy transition. Next in line, we have um, Shri Vishal Khalde. He is a seasoned chemical engineer with over 15 years of experience in fermentation technology and biogas systems. He is the founder and CEO of Xeon Waste Managers Private Limited. He pioneered the energy bin technology, enabling decentralized organic waste to energy solutions. His work has benefited clients like TCS and Reliance Industries with over 75 biogas plants installed across 13 Indian states. Since the company's integration into Blue Planet Environmental Solutions in 2019, he continues to drive innovation as director at Blue Planet Biofuels Private Limited, championing sustainable waste management and renewable energy solutions. We also have with us today Sri Ravi Shankar Purushottamam. He's again a chemical engineer with 22 years of experience, including 17 years in the biogas sector. He currently serves as General Manager Technology at EverEnviro Resource Management Private Limited, leading process innovation and technical strategy across compressed biogas projects. He has successfully overseen the design, commissioning, and optimization of various agri-residue, MSW, and manure-based biogas plants. His work has led to significant gains in gas yield, cost reduction, operational efficiency. With expertise in anaerobic digestion, co-digestion, and organic manure management, he is committed to advancing sustainable solutions in the RNG industry. And we are joined online by Dr. Virendra Kumar Vijay. He is the most acclaimed internationally known professor in biogas and rural technologies. His concepts on linking higher education institutes for village development, biogas purification, and bottling technology were well adopted by the government of India and launched as programs by concerned ministries in the government. Professor Vijay and his team developed the concept and vision of Bharat Abhiyan, movement for progressive India, which was adopted by the Ministry of Education, Government of India in 2014. The program aims to create a virtuous cycle between society and an inclusive academic system by providing knowledge of education institutes, experience of voluntary organization, and resources of government to support holistic rural development. He got a patent on small-scale biogas upgradation technology, which has been licensed to 11 industries and many gaushalas so far. And we also have with us today Dr. Navindu Gupta. He brings 40 years of extensive experience in research and teaching with specialization in agricultural sciences. Currently working as the Executive Director Division at SPS Biochem. He is leading the research and development. Dr. Gupta is responsible for steering the company's innovative research initiatives and advancing its scientific capabilities. He holds a master's in organic chemistry, PhD, and LLB all from the University of Delhi. And since the beginning of his career in 1983, he has made significant contributions as principal scientist and postgraduate teaching faculty member in the discipline of environmental sciences at ICAR IARI, New Delhi. Dr. Gupta's research focuses on biomass waste management, biomethanation, biogas plant development, and nutrient enrichment of bioslurry, leading projects on bioslurry application and standardizing analytical protocols for fermented organic manure. He's an expert member of the Interministerial Task Force in Gobardhan under the Swachh Bharat mission of government and India. So that is the pool of panelists that we have today. Over to Atin.
Thank you so much, Sid. And thank you all the panelists for joining us today. I know that you all are kind of extremely busy in your own spaces, but you still found time to join us for this very important discussion. Let me start with Nitesh ji. given the legacy of your experience, and then you have played a very critical role when Indore was planning to set up the India's largest and functional Bio-CNG plant. So even in the morning, as a finding of the study, Kaifi mentioned that currently we are being able to realize only 2% of the available feedstock. And then the government is also encouraging, private public partnership to kind of share the cost of capex and opex. But still, and there are few enablers as well, like the biofuel policy schemes like Satat, Govardhan, even SBM has specific allocation to kind of boost this sector. Now, my question to you is that even in the study, we have found that a plant is viable only if certain enablers and certain conditions are met, and where a lot of plants are facing extreme difficulties on the ground. So in your opinion, like especially the cities where the waste generation is good enough to even think about a Bio-CNG plant, because we know that if the if the feedstock is not sufficient, not consistent, then thinking of a Bio-CNG plant is little difficult. So in your opinion, how can we make this technology work? How can we make it kind of environmentally sustainable and also financially viable? I mean, what is the future of this PPP model? What enablers would you recommend that we should put in place and think about?
So thank you, Atin, and the CSC team for doing this fantastic job. And this was very much required at this time. So all the industry who are involved in developing such project, this type of reports will definitely help. And thank you, Sunita ma'am, for inviting us in this seminar. So I would like to share my experience when Indore success is best example of cooperative and teamwork, you can say. So where residents, developer, promoters, technology providers comes together and create a success story. And before that, before 2020, Indore was operating 600 TPD compost plant. So the compost plant have been transformed into the Bio-CNG plant. And what was the requirement? Requirement was source segregated organic waste. So before 2020, the source segregated organic waste was already available as a feedstock to produce Bio-CNG. The Satat program was already in place. So we have tied up with Avantika Gas for gas offtake. GAIL has extended the pipeline to our plant so that we can inject the gas into the gas pipeline with their own cost. So, and our Honorable Prime Minister has inaugurated the project. That was, I think, there was a clear message that waste plant can be inaugurated by Prime Minister. So that was a very big message for the country. So again, to your question, so what are the hurdles and what are the risks we would like to discuss first? The major hurdle for this type of developing this type of plant is source segregation. And we have to learn from the success stories. The success story is coming not only from Indore, it is coming from other cities. Other cities are also going good in source segregation. Almost, I can say some of the city has achieved 65–70% levels. And in coming 3 years, they will reach up to 100% segregation. So now the learnings are propagating very fast in Indian cities, but pace is very slow. And why this is slow? Because the approach is not focused. There is a lack of willpower. The biggest problem with municipal corporation that leadership changes very frequently, whether it is mayor or municipal commissioner, they change in every 2–3 years. And that is why this is the major hurdle in developing and keeping consistent progress in solid waste management. So the first learning is how Indore is achieving 100% segregation since 2017. So from 2017, Indore is consistently doing source segregation. And now the this practice is inherited in the culture of the city. So you can't throw the garbage on the street of the indoor, you can't throw the garbage. So people will stop you because the culture has been developed. So for achieving source segregation, three task is very important. First is putting right infrastructure and resource in place so that you can collect the garbage on daily basis and transport to the facility. Second is the mass awareness. So consistent mass awareness is very important. And third is the implementation of standard operating procedure. So if you are regularly maintaining your SOP, you are regularly creating mass awareness and your infrastructure in place, you can achieve 100% source segregation. And this is lacking in other cities. I have seen some cities are deploying resources, but the vehicle are not compatible. Compatible means the source segregation is being done. The segregated waste is being transferred to the vehicle, but it is get mixed during the transportation. And why they are mixing? Because vehicle is not designed to handle the segregated waste. And I am watching these type of vehicles since last 3-4 years. I will give you the example of Nasik. Nasik has designed very third class vehicle. So in which the wet waste quantity is very less and the dry waste quantity is high. So the compatibility of vehicle is very important. I don't know why they are not changing the vehicle since last 4 years. There may be some internal issues of resource deployment, but you have to understand the requirement of the vehicles. What type of vehicle will be needed to handle the segregated waste till the transfer station or till the facility. Second, awareness. Awareness is also there. Peoples are ready to participate, but if you mix the segregated waste in front of the people in the vehicle, why they will segregate? That is the problem. So awareness is not problem. Again, implementation. So if 30% or 40% vehicle are designed to handle the segregated waste, they are coming to the plant and they are regularly achieving the 40% segregation at plant level. But again, there is no facility in Nasik so that they can convert the organic waste into Bio-CNG. So they have to adopt new technology. So adoption of new technology is very important. So right from door to the facility, it is important that we need to update everything. Everything means collection and transportation system, the mass awareness, the level of awareness, and the processing facility. So the entire supply chain is need to be upgraded. Second, how we can develop a very successful PPP model. So for PPP model, we have to understand the responsibility matrix. What municipal corporation have to do, what developer have to do, and what government have to do. So responsibility, understanding the responsibility is very important. So for better supply of feedstock, the responsibility lies with municipal corporation. Municipal corporation have to understand that we have to supply segregated organic waste to the facility so that plant can be run. The developer have to understand that we have to treat this organic waste to generate a revenue from biogas or FOM, and government authority have to support for others like electricity, residual management. Government have to pollution control have to give the permission to dispose the treated waste into the sewer line. That is also very important part of any Bio-CNG plant. A lot of organic liquid is being generated which can't be sold as a fertilizer. If the contamination level is high, how will these liquid waste will be handled? So permission will come from pollution control board. Yes, if your discharge level are in permissible level, you can dispose into the sewer line. So I think the combined effort is very important, and that is why Indore is success story, because they have provided consent to dispose treated water into the public sewer line or sewage treatment plant, whatever available nearby. So I think responsibility is very important. Then penalty provision should be there. If someone is not doing their job, so what should be the provision for penalty? So keeping penalty provision in the contract is very important. Otherwise, one person will blame to other, and other authority will blame to other. So it will keep moving, and that is happening since the last 4 years. And then find the defaulters. Whoever the defaulters, whether it is bulk waste generator or residents, defaulters can be anyone. So identification of defaulters on regular basis, quarterly basis is very important. So we have to organize quarterly review meetings like corporates are doing. We have to organize annual review meetings so that we can review the progress on monthly and quarterly basis. And based on these review, we can take the action. Third, how can we make Bio-CNG a financially sustainable model? So I think source segregation, by implementing source segregation, by implementing standard operating procedure, and effective implementation of key tasks like collection, transportation, and the treatment at facility is very important. And the effective system for keeping all the stakeholder as a responsible entity, and developing very contractual binding is very important. By keeping contractual binding, all these stakeholder will come together and do their job. So these are my past experience, and we can make Bio-CNG very much successful business.
Thank you so much. This was really insightful. And I will also request participants to kind of note down their questions, because right after the discussion, we'll open up the floor so you can ask the question to the panelist. I'll also ask Kefi to join in. Let me now bring in Vishalji. So, I mean, we have seen your profile, such rich experience, and you have now you are basically on top of your own company. So you have multiple projects set up, operational. One of such project is in Noida, which we also visited. We took our participants that came for a training program to you. So, and I just need you to share your experience from the Noida plant specifically. And it is extremely important considering that for this plant, probably you are also having to deal with the collection and transportation issue as well. So please tell us and tell the participant, like, what kind of challenges are you encountering in connection with, let's say, collection, transportation, let's say, consistent supply of feedstock, the level of segregation, and is it a viable model this way? Because in the morning we have seen that Kefi said that where the plant is having to pay for the collection transportation, it is not really financially viable. So your views, please.
Thanks, and thanks CEC team for this initiative. I think the report presented by KP was really insightful. Thank you. And I think with this efforts only, it becomes much more enriching for people like us to present their view also and overall to understand. Because if we see the Swachh Bharat thing, which has kind of initiated the waste management activities and getting it to that. So as rightly presented by Sunita ma'am, where she said that Bio-CNG, the main reason for Bio-CNG or CBG was into managing the municipal waste. So I'm fortunate that like I have an experience like setting up like as small as maybe 100 kg plant, which we had done it for an kind of a factory, and like currently what we are setting up at 230 tons plant. So with this various experience in place, and also with the waste generator, or the bulk waste generators, and now you come to a municipal. So there is a different range. So for this smaller plant, there is a feedstock which has been already there. It has been planned in a place, like for example, if you're doing a plant for Tata Motors. So you have a number of employees which are fixed. There is a feedstock which has been generated, and then you set up a plant over there. So this becomes a pretty easy model, and this is what we were doing like for 5-6 years, deploying more than 150 plants. So we thought that like this is something, the waste availability was never a problem. Then when we got an opportunity to set up this Greater Noida plant, so it was a completely different experience. Means right starting from the tendering process to allotment of land and to the WCQ or the waste characterization, which was also one part which was really well highlighted by Sunita ma'am in terms of the importance of it. And when I was listening to her observations and her experience, I was immediately was able to correlate with all the things that whatever challenges which she had explained and what we we were been facing. So just to elaborate more on the Greater Noida, so it is means as per the tender contract, it's an 18 TPD plant. So 18 TPD plant for which includes collection transportation. So over here, we are responsible for the collection transportation, where the authority, the Greater Noida Authority, has allotted a land to us, which is in near this Sharda University, where we have set up this facility. So we are responsible for collection and transportation from almost 20,000 household, roughly around 11,500 plus collection points. So we have deployed the fleet of vehicle, around 14 vehicles, which goes to individual household level to do a collections and transportation. So the tender, what was been return, or what the WCQR was from 18 tons, it was 12 tons of wet waste and around 6 tons of dry waste. So this was the tender specification was, and then also the plant was been designed on a same thing, because we had a very limited chance to get actual done a WCQR because the window was very short. So we had assumed that whatever the authority has been shared within, that must be to a right. So, but still we did a 20% tolerance on both the cases, on the wet side also and on the dry side also. But when we went to an actual collection, so initially what used to happen is that, like, the day we started the operation, the day before, the waste was just collected. So as Niteshji also rightly mentioned, in terms of the collection of the importance of segregation over there. So over there, the waste was collected. Neither the people were been informed that, like, you need to segregate the waste. Indore is the only exception where we have a better thing around. So people were just used to just put the waste into the tank, and that the collection vehicle, which was again a mix, and that used to go to the landfill to do that thing. So the next day, once we go over there and we say that, like, give us a segregated waste, and we get a vehicle where we have a 2 compartment, everything. But then, like, it means not even a single person, maybe in a one time where they had, like, listen to us, or our team member which was on site. So that was a really bigger. So we were almost kind of helpless sort of thing, that, like, what exactly or how it would happen, because the entire 18 tons coming to the site, and if you don't segregate and don't treat it, it is just a dump. Means the site was been turning into a dump yard on day-to-day basis. So we started with IEC activity, went to each household. So the initial thing. So it was a pretty challenging thing. And then we really understood the importance of segregation, and then why everyone are highlighting this importance, praising Indore for all these things. So with this IEC activity, we started the improvement to it, where we did a lot of things, means right from getting into the schools, the nearby schools over there, doing some kind of an activity where, like, a short drama sort of thing, or a play, where we once we explain them the importance of the segregation. Then we also invited the RWAs to our facility to help them to understand that, like, what exactly has been happening with the waste. And then there were a lot of social activity done from our end. So for example, like, even like for all of us, means we just pack the waste, put it in the bin. But just imagine a person who is collecting or processing your waste. Means if you see, we are the waste generator, but unfortunately there is someone, okay, because of maybe the education, because of his social background and all these things, he has, means he have to work into that area. And then we mix everything, put it over there. It can be anything. It right from, like, your domestic biomedical waste to maybe any metal, glass, broken glass, and everything. And the female or the men working in that condition. It was really an alarming thing to understand. Means we tried to explain the RWAs about this thing. We did a lot of social kind of social media posts and all this thing. But, like, again, means waste is something like, it is every time it is at a backyard, because it is a necessary but not a necessity. So that's the thing, like, we all are still discussing about how can we make it feasible, the importance of segregation. Unfortunately, means we as a human, we are still not able to understand what nuisance we are creating, not for our future generation also, but for us also. with the thing. So that is what the experience, what we felt in terms of. So then we had to do some automation sort of thing, or some segregation line, but with the space constraint and all these things, it was still a challenging. And so now the current situation is that the waste has been brought. We almost have, the waste has been gone from 20 tons to 25 tons because of the collection efficiencies has increased. But again, with the limited space, we had a challenges around that. So segregation, which has came from like as low as 15% to around, like at least now we have achieved a 70 to 80% segregation level. Still we have to, because still even with that percentage, the quantum of the wet waste what we are getting is not more than 8 ton. So our plant load factor is still very less. That has affected our plant economics, because the entire investment was made depending upon the quantum of the wet waste, the quantity of the CBG what would be produced, and then the cost economics would be around it. But that is still we are struggling. So now what we have done is that we have also onboarded some bulk waste generator. So we have asked for authorities to help us around to onboarding bulk waste generator. This had helped us to increase our wet waste and also our CBG production. So if we see in terms of feasibility point of view, 15 tons or 12 tons, it is still a very smaller size in terms of wet waste to CBG. But this was not, this was more than the commercial model. So this was more of an integration model, what we as a Blue Planet, we wanted to display, because this gives us a blend of technology what we are providing. So we have a CNT mechanism. So with the CNT mechanism, we have completely automated. We have made a geofencing. So we know that like which houses in there. And there is a real-time data what we share with the municipal corporation. So they also understand how does the thing is. So that was a tech, what we are doing it in Singapore, where we wanted to get it over here. So we have a kind of a pyrolysis facility, a small pyrolysis facility, where we process this low-end plastic or a multi-layer plastic to convert into polyfuel. So that was also again more on a display thing. It's a very small thing, just 100 kg per day. Then CBG, which again is one of our forte in terms of getting the organic waste converted to CBG, because we are doing n numbers of plants. We are operating multiple plants. Noida is one of it. So that was one of the display, and the MRF facility. So that it was a new to us. We are still learning over it. We had assumed that the recovery from that dry waste would be around 20-25%, but we are not able to receive even 10% recovery, because what happens is that like with many dry waste players also in market, they just go and collect the waste directly from the houses. So whatever dry waste which is recoverable or of a high value, which has been already eliminated in that stage. So whatever comes to us is mostly the rejected or inerts, and getting the manpower to collect that and segregate that thing, and the output what we get out of it. So if you compare this, the cost of manpower and the cost per kg, what that single manpower would get. So it is really difficult to balance that thing. So that is one of the challenge what we are facing, that like we had assumed that certain dry waste value and quantity would be there. That has been not there. On the wet side, we are struggling. So we had to get an external sources of the wet waste over there. So we are producing CBG over there. So what we're doing is the vehicle which goes for the collection is powered by the same gas. So the CBG, whatever we are generating. So we got a permission of setting up a retail unit over there. So we are dispensing. We are not producing much, roughly around 500 to 600 kg per day. We are producing the gas. So some part of we are selling it as a retail through it. So these were some of the learnings in terms of. So if you see in terms of feasibility of this size of plant, I would say it is not really feasible to that. Maybe if it had been maybe 25 to 30, or if even it would be feasible if the segregation was right. We did not have to spend so much on the manpower. If the collection mechanism in terms of the wet waste generated was right, we would have generated a better gas. If the dry waste, whatever it was been claimed, if we have got, there would be had a better revenue. So currently we are working on a model where the authorities are paying us on a tipping fee or a fixed cost on a per ton basis, which is roughly around 1700 per. So which also includes the collection, transportation, and the setting up facility. And as per the contract, means actually we had to agree to it. So year 2, they allowed us to collect a user fee. So from all this 20,000 household, which varies from 70 rupees to 110 rupees. So post year one, when we went into the field to collect the user fee, that was the toughest thing. Means literally, our team member were been verbally abused. Some of them physically also. So so this was really a tough thing. So we have been still kind of like requesting the authorities that it should be a part of the tipping, because for us it would be difficult. So even there were news that like with this 70 or 80 rupees, the monthly budget is getting disturbed for some of the families. So it has went to that level. So unfortunately, that is the problem. It's like you want your city to be clean, you want the things to be done in a scientific way, but if you still don't support for 70 or 80 rupees on a one time, which is not even a cost of a burger what you must be eating, maybe once a day also, or once a month also, if you can see. So this should be a kind of a dual support. Means every time we say that authorities are not doing that, authorities are not doing this, but it should be a mutual way, where like maybe some of our team member or some of must be on some committee or with some RWS and all these things. So there should be a support around it. So we just can't sit over here and get some theoretical thing and preach. So on practical, if you see on a ground level, things are completely different. So these were some of our learnings from the Greater Noida thing about what we had. So if you have anything specific which I have not covered, maybe.
Yeah, sure. No, thank you. And Greater Noida's case is unique in a sense that it is not kind of as an entity, it is not an urban local body. So it's a development authority, and that is basically why probably the responsibility of collecting user charges, where like we have more than 4,000 municipalities in India. So almost every city is struggling, except few good practices, of course, including Indore. So thank you, Vishalji. Let me now bring in Ravi Shankarji. So and thank you, because we were wondering like if we could have somebody from Indore to talk about the Indore experience. Niteshji was associated with the Indore initiative. Now you are in charge, and you are part of the same company who is managing Indore's facility. Now, I wouldn't go into the issues like segregation, transportation, and supply of feedstock. We have understood that they're pretty much consistent till 2017, and I believe they're consistent even till now. My question to you is like, what about the products? Like, how did you ensure the offtake of the CNG that you are producing inside the plant, and how are you dealing with the FOM? Have you because Indore is, I know that I've been there many times in the past. So Indore is fortunately surrounded by a lot of industrial establishment. So is it an advantage, or how are you dealing with the FOM challenge? Because you are, along with the gas, you're also producing humongous amount of FOM every day. So what is your experience? Because it is very strongly connected with the financial sustainability of the plant. Please use that. I don't know whether it's working. It's not working. You can use this.
Thank you. Thank you for the this initiatives for the entire CST team. So coming back to your question, like surviving of this business, as very clearly mentioned in the KIFS presentation also, that selling alone CBG is only to manage your day-to-day expenses. But what is getting profit by selling the FOM, which is quite now nascent stage, and people are really need some education in understanding the difference between the synthetic fertilizer and the fermented organic manure. And as far as the CNG concerned, so we have a diversified market. We are selling to a lot of industrial consumers, pipeline consumers, and we have got almost 5-6 customers we have. So CNG offtake doesn't seems to be a challenge right now at Indore. In fact, we are now currently producing at an average of 16 tons per day, which is even now we are putting up some additional digesters, and we are going to expand it to 21 TPD in coming another 1 or 2 months timelines. So already the digester has been commissioned. So as far as the Bio-CNG concerned, we are comfortable to sell it, and offtake is also very smoothly going. And that is all because of the clear structure in the responsibility matrix. And regarding to the FOM part, as everybody is talking about the offtake, the current FOM rate, it's hardly about 1.5 rupees per kg to 2, which is not even managing to manage our own production cost. So that is one. And the second thing about the quality of the FOM, which is almost just even I can say it's a superior product in the organic manure segment. But now recently we have focused on the liquid FOM also, and the recent relaxations in the policy also, that we are able to now dispose about liquid FOM and even the wet digestate with the 70% moisture also. But again, there I could see there are a lot of practical ground challenges when applying to the fields and farms. So where we need to focus on the some creative and innovative methods that we can enrich the product, or we can just sell it as a base product. So that all depends upon the farm applications and the farmers' expectations and what type of crop you are targeting. So our team is also already in various studies, and we have been engaged with a few uh, laboratories also, and we are working on the enrichment part also. And now recently, what I can see that the pickup of FOM offtake is improved, much improved, and awareness also is increased. And the now people are aware that organic manure also is helping the better yield, and this needs to be further support initiated by the government and as the developers. And we also conduct lot of campaigns, farmer campaigns, and where we have to visit the farm fields and we have to educate them. So it's lot of initiatives required, and we need to wait for at least another maybe a year or two. So then I can say that this product will definitely will boost up, and will also improve the economics over the biogas project life cycle also. And uh, yes, there are certain gaps I could see, but in coming years probably this will take off. And lot of now when you see compared to previous, when Satat was enrolled, it is very nascent stage, and the people are not even know about what is FOM and what is Bio-CNG. And now it has been now transforming. There's a transformation is happening, and of course, as the project developer, and we are ensuring that quality to be maintained. And as ma'am said, there is a strong emotion I could see attached into the environmental accountability, and that needs to be continued. And yes, that is going. So I believe that in coming days, this FOM will not be a bottleneck in maintaining that economics, and it will come up. That's a view I could see.
So, I mean, if I may ask, like, I know that you have a filling station right at the plant, which is filling a lot of city buses that runs around the city. And you said that you're also selling the gas to the nearby industries. So, like, for my own learning and for all the participants as well, if it is okay for you to disclose, like, at what price point you are being able to sell the gas uh, to the vehicles or the industries, or what? Basically, my question is like, what determines the price?
See, of course, for any plant, the cost factors will definitely accountable to like feedstock, as well as the operating and maintenance expenses, and of course the manpower, administrative charges. So at indoor, I would not be able to tell you very night numbers, but I can give you some range about our own production cost will come about 52 to 55 per kg, which is where we are also having long discussions with the IOC team and other people. When it comes to a tripartite agreement, we are somehow we can breathe over the cost. And when it comes to industrial consumers, yes, there is a good amount of opportunity. And what we expected that again the transportation, the compression and transportation, where we have additional cost. And we were exploring with a lot of fleet transporters, and where they can invest something, they can bring their own gaskets, vehicles, and that is also be now going up. So which is I could see there is a clear-cut accountability and equitable understanding on the cost factors, which will take us this.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Let me now bring in Vijay sir. Is he here with us?
Namaste, namaste.
Namaskar, sir. Thank you so much. I know that you are in some difficulties in your family life, but thank you so much for making yourself available virtually. People know you as the Bio-CNG man, and you have single-handedly fostered a small plant even inside the IIT campus, which is producing CNG, and you are driving your own vehicle, which is fueled by that plant. So basically, and that intrigued me to understand that we have known from the facts and figures that Bio-CNG plant is not really feasible under a certain amount of feedstock. But your plant is probably an exception. So my question, like the model that you have been able to set up inside your campus, I mean, is it scalable? Can the smaller cities or even the panchayats who are producing, a good amount of um, uh, biodegradable feedstock, but which is not really eligible to be considered for setting up a bio-CNG plant. So my question is like, how can we make such models scalable?
Yeah. कितने कितना टाइम है मेरे लिए?
Sir, you have about 10 to 12 minutes, sir.
Yeah. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल सबसे पहले तो मैं बताना चाहूंगा कि when in our MNRE or DST or Government of India, nobody was thinking about biogas technology, Bio-CNG or CBG. We started working on biogas enrichment and bottling in IIT Delhi in 2002. हमारे को प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट कहाँ से आया कि मैंने 2002 में पूरे इंडिया की गौशालाओं का एक प्रोग्राम किया था, तो पता चला कि उनके पास बहुत गोबर अवेलेबल है, बहुत बायोगैस भी अवेलेबल है, मगर उससे कुछ उनकी कॉस्ट इकोनॉमिक इम्प्रूव नहीं हो रहा है। तो स्टेटमेंट ये था कि हाउ वी कैन इम्प्रूव द इकोनॉमिक्स ऑफ आवर गौशाला। तो उनके पास जब बायोगैस भी बनी है तो उसको कैसे वो बेच सकते हैं या उससे पैसा अर्न कर सकते हैं। तो देन वी स्टार्टेड वर्किंग ऑन can we develop a sustainable, small scale, low cost biogas enrichment and bottling system which can be used for selling its products to the market or the commercial industry or whatever requirement is. तो then we started working on the कौन सी टेक्नोलॉजी हमारे गांव के हिसाब से, हमारे रिक्वायरमेंट के हिसाब से ठीक होगी। तो देयर वर मेनी टेक्नोलॉजीज अवेलेबल इन यूरोप एंड यूएस एंड अदर प्लेसेस। We evaluated and thought that the water scrubbing technology is the best suitable for rural areas because no chemicals are required, water is available everywhere, small pressure can be created। तो वो हमने 2006 में डेवलप किया, पेटेंट किया और काम शुरू किया। फिर हमने उसको 2006 के बाद लाइसेंस देना भी शुरू कर दिया टेक्नोलॉजी को। आईआईटी दिल्ली का जो बायोगैस प्लांट था उसमें पहले तो गोबर आसपास से जो डेयरी क्लस्टर थे वहां से आता था, मगर 2010 के बाद में जब सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ऑर्डर कर दिया कि डेयरी कैटल सिटी में नहीं रहेंगे, तो देन वी हैड इशू। तो हमने सोचा क्या किया जाए, तो देन वी स्टार्टेड कलेक्टिंग किचन वेस्ट फ्रॉम हाउस होल्ड फ्रॉम 200 हाउस होल्ड, और जो हमारे हॉस्टल्स के मैसेज हैं वहाँ से जो सब्जी और इसका पीस मिलता था उसको हम लाने लगे और उसको पल्वराइज करके बायोगैस प्लांट में डालने लगे। तो वी आर हैविंग ए 25 क्यूबिक मीटर बायोगैस प्लांट जिसमें कि 250 किलोग्राम किचन वेस्ट की जरूरत पड़ती है रोज, और उसको हम रोज डालते हैं, बायोगैस बनाते हैं। देन बाय 2008-9 आई हैव गिवन द टेक्नोलॉजी टू सम गौशालाज इन राजस्थान, मध्य प्रदेश एंड गुजरात, एंड इट वाज स्टार्टेड डेमोन्स्ट्रेटिंग दैट हाँ बायोगैस कैन बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू बायो-CNG और CBG एंड इट कैन बी फिल्ड इनटू द व्हीकल्स, जो CNG व्हीकल्स हैं उसमें। तो देन we when we discussed with the Gadkari ji in 2010-11 and with other possible supporter of biofuels in the country, he said that you keep it the name of on bio-CNG only, क्योंकि तुम CBG कहोगे तो इसको कोई जो पेट्रोलियम कंपनियां हैं और जो दूसरे कॉमर्शियल मार्केटिंग वाले कंपनियां हैं वो एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेंगी। तो हमने कहा ठीक है बायो-CNG। देन वी आर स्टार्टेड डेवलपिंग बायो-CNG स्टैंडर्ड्स। तो BIS को हमने रिक्वेस्ट किया, देन वी डेवलप्ड IS 16087 2011, ओ सॉरी 2013। तो 2011 में जब हम बायो-CNG और CNG के स्टैंडर्ड की बात कर रहे थे, तो देन MNRE has given me a vehicle, जो CNG की गाड़ी थी वैगन आर, कि आप अपने इस गाड़ी में रोज भरिए, जितनी गैस बन रही है उसको वेरीफाई करिए, उसको CBG बनाइए, गाड़ी में भरिए, और फिर इसके एमिशंस पे, इसके डिटेरियोरेशन पे, इसकी इंजन परफॉर्मेंस पे स्टडी करिए. So for 2 years we studied that, and then we complemented it with BIS standard in 2013. क्योंकि I was member of that committee, और MNRE के जो यार शुक्ला जी थे जो बायोगैस प्रोग्राम देखते थे, हम लोग सब मेंबर थे उसमें, और देन वी डेवलप दिस BIS स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ 16087. तो हमने 90% क्यों रखा, ये भी एक समझने की बात है लोगों को, कि वाई वी केप्ट 90% मीथेन कंटेंट एंड 10% अदर, एंड कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड लेस देन 4%. बायोगैस में जनरली 60% मीथेन एवरेज होता है, 40% कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड होता है, बाकी लिटिल अमाउंट ऑफ हाइड्रोजन सल्फाइड है, बाकी मॉइस्चर है. तो इफ वी आर हैविंग बायोगैस, तो जब भी जो CNG का जो प्रोटोकॉल है, CNG का जो स्टैंडर्ड है, उसमें 89 to 93% मीथेन होता है, बाकी हाइड्रोकार्बन होते हैं, जो पेट्रोलियम कंपनियां बेचती हैं, जो इम्पोर्ट करते हैं, बेचते हैं. जब बायोगैस की बात आई तो हमने वर्ब इंडेक्स देखा, तो वी रिक्वायर्ड कि हमको अगर गांव में भी यूज करना है, हमारी सोसाइटी के लिए यूज करना है, वाई वी शुड फॉलो इंटरनेशनल स्टैंडर्ड कंपनी प्रोटोकॉल्स. हमें इंडिया में क्या हो सकता है, क्या करना चाहिए, उसके हिसाब से काम करना चाहिए. तो दैट्स वाई वी केप्ट मीथेन कंटेंट 90%. अगर देन वी आल्सो इम्प्रूव्ड इन 2015 कि जो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड कंटेंट है वो लेस देन 4% होना चाहिए. If we say carbon dioxide content is 4%, not more than 4%, so remaining amount will be about 95-96% मीथेन कंटेंट बायोगैस में, क्योंकि और कोई गैस होती ही नहीं उसमें. So then it provided the required heat or energy content for the index and everything. So that's why it worked on. फिर हमने बाद में देखा कि अगर हमको इंडिया के हिसाब से, सोसाइटी के हिसाब से काम में लेना है, क्योंकि हम 22 लाख करोड़ का लगभग पेट्रोलियम प्रोडक्ट इंपोर्ट करते हैं, जिसमें बायो-CNG, पेट्रोल, डीजल सब कुछ है. तो अगर इंडिया को एनर्जी सिक्योरिटी पे जाना है, तो ये बहुत जरूरी है कि नॉट ओनली मीथेन, बट जो बायोगैस में कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड होता है उसको भी हमको यूज करना चाहिए. उसके अलावा हमारा जो FOM है, LFOM है, उसको भी यूज करना चाहिए. सो वी आर कंटिन्यूसली परस्यूइंग इट विथ MNRE एंड मिनिस्टर ऑफ पेट्रोलियम एंड एवरीवन. तो 2010 से हमने जब ये BIS स्टैंडर्ड बनाया 2013 में, BGF बायोगैस फर्टिलाइजर प्लांट, ये 2011 में एक MNRE ने हमारे सपोर्ट से प्रोग्राम बनाया कि जो भी कॉमर्शियल बायोगैस प्योरिफिकेशन करेगा, बोटलिंग करेगा, और उसको इंडस्ट्री कॉमर्शलाइजेशन के लिए काम करेगा, उस एंटरप्रेन्योर को 50% सब्सिडी दी जाएगी. हमने 100 such plants were envisaged, और एवरेज कैपेसिटी रखा 1000 क्यूबिक मीटर बायोगैस प्रोडक्शन पर डे, नॉट CBG प्रोडक्शन बट बायोगैस प्रोडक्शन. तो प्योरीफाई करने के बाद उसमें 400 kg के लगभग बायो-CNG बनती थी, और ऐसे लगभग 22 प्लांट बने. IIT Delhi was mentoring and helping in setting up all those projects. Then we realized कि वो कितनी परसेंटेज होती है, कौन कौन सी टेक्नोलॉजी यूज हो रही है. लोग बागा ने कॉमर्शियल सिस्टम PSA के पे आने लग गए, जबकि PSA नाइट्रोजन प्योरिफिकेशन टेक्नोलॉजी थी, वो मीथेन के लिए नहीं होती थी, मगर उसको इम्प्रूव करके उन्होंने मीथेन के लिए कर दिया, बायोगैस के लिए कर दिया. ड्यूरिंग द 2010 to 2015, most of the plants which were installed for Bio-CNG or CBG were not yielding the good result, quality result of that. For many of the plants were started with 2, 3, 4 years commercialization, और वो बहुत अच्छे चले नहीं. So then in 2017, when this new biofuel policy was handled by Ministry of Petroleum, धर्मेंद्र प्रधान जी से जब बात हुई, तो उनको हमने कहा कि देखिए, बायो-CNG का नाम रखेंगे आप तो ठीक है, पेट्रोलियम कंपनियां कोई बेनिफिट लेती रहेंगी. अगर इंडियन कंटेक्स्ट में आप इसको इम्प्रूव करना चाहते हैं, तो इसको CBG नाम रखिए. तो देन ही एग्रीड टू इट, और तब से जो बायोफ्यूल पॉलिसी बनी 2018 में, दे स्टार्टेड सतत प्रोग्राम. और सतत प्रोग्राम में जो CBG था वही नाम लिया उन्होंने. एंड 2018 के बाद से आप देखिए कि आज पूरी दुनिया में CBG नाम चलने लग गया है. IIT दिल्ली has given this name टू द होल वर्ल्ड इन 2008। और 2011 का जो आईआईटी दिल्ली का गोल्डन जुबली ईयर कैलेंडर बना तो उसमें एक पेज सीबीजी के नाम पे था। ये तो टेक्नोलॉजी डेवलपमेंट का प्रोसेस तो उसका शुरू हुआ, मगर साथ में ये हमको देखना जरूरी है जितने भी प्लांट लग रहे हैं, इनिशियल स्टेज पे ज्यादातर प्लांट सक्सेसफुल नहीं रहे, उनकी आरओआई ठीक नहीं थी, वो चल नहीं पा रहे थे और कई सारी इश्यूज आते थे क्योंकि टेक्निकल मैन पावर हमारे पास नहीं था अवेलेबल, उसके इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फैसिलिटी नहीं थी, हम लोग ज्यादातर प्रोडक्ट सब बाहर से इम्पोर्ट कर रहे थे। अब मुझे लगता है कि जो करने की आवश्यकता है, जैसे एमएसडब्ल्यू के लिए हमको सेग्रीगेशन जरूरी है, एनवायरो ने इंदौर में प्रूव कर दिया उसको। हर सिटी में इतना बड़ा देश है हमारा, इतने शहर हैं, इतने टाउन्स हैं, हमको तो ये बहुत अच्छा प्रोपोजिशन है कि वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट को भी हम इसके साथ लिंक कर दें, तो उसको डिसेंट्रलाइज वे में अगर हम करेंगे तो वो ज़्यादा अप्रोप्रिएट रहेगा और सही काम पकड़ेगा। खाली एक बड़ा प्लांट लगा दिया एक बड़े शहर में तो काम नहीं करेगा। अब हर मोहल्ले में, हर लोकेलिटी में जितना भी जितना जनरली 50 to 60% वेट वेस्ट और बायोडिग्रेडेबल वेस्ट, वो जो कलेक्ट हो रहा है उसको आप लोकल लेवल पे प्रोसेस करिए, प्योरीफाई करिए, गैस बनाइए और उसको सेल करिए। एफओएम भी आसपास के एरिया में जो भी गार्डन्स हैं, जो भी किचन गार्डन्स हैं, जो भी लोगों को जरूरत है वो डाल दीजिए, क्योंकि शहर से फार्मर्स इतने पास नहीं होते, तो वो एफओएम और एलएफओएम देना इतना इजी वर्क नहीं है वो, उनको ट्रांसपोर्टेशन इतना महंगा पड़ेगा कि वो वायबल हो नहीं पाता। इसलिए डिसेंट्रलाइज वे में ये अगर सिस्टम डेवलप होगा शहरों में भी तो ज़्यादा इफेक्टिव होगा। दूसरा, हमको उसका जो CO2 निकल रहा है उसको एनवायरनमेंट में छोड़ के हम अगेन वी आर मेकिंग एन ऑफेंस, आप अपने एनवायरनमेंट को खराब कर रहे हैं, CO2 उसमें इंजेक्ट कर रहे हैं, उसको हमें हमको यूज करना है। अब कौन सी टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करनी चाहिए आजकल, तो देखिए वाटर स्क्रबिंग इज द बेस्ट सुटेबल टेक्नोलॉजी, इसमें कोई केमिकल्स यूज नहीं करता है और हम उसको आराम से पानी जो निकल रहा है उसको रिसाइकिल करके यूज कर सकते हैं। PSA VFSA चल रहा है। हमको मेम्ब्रेन आजकल इंडिया में कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव नहीं है, पर तो यूरोप वाले वो ज्यादा उसी पे चल रहे हैं। क्रायोजेनिक तो शुरू से ही सबने मना कर दिया कि एनर्जी इंटेंसिव। तो आउट ऑफ दिस 3 4 टेक्नोलॉजी we have to identify which one is better, which is one is suitable. So for small scale, but in last 7 years experience, 2018 to now 2025, what we have observed as an academic in the country, कि ज्यादातर जो PSA VFSA और दूसरी चीजें थी उनमें प्योरिटी कम आती थी तो फिर 2 3 साल बाद उनका जो जियोलाइट्स है या जो भी मटेरियल यूज कर रहे हैं PSA में उनको चेंज करना पड़ रहा है, और धीरे धीरे उनका जो वैल्यू है एब्जॉर्प्शन वाला वो डिग्रेड होता रहता है, तो उनकी जो एफिशिएंसी है वो कम होती जाती है। तो वाटर स्क्रबिंग अब सभी, देखिए ज्यादातर लोग हमसे बात करने आते हैं, डिस्कस करते हैं, तो यही समझ में आ रहा है, हाँ हम वाटर स्क्रबिंग सिस्टम लगाना चाहते हैं, नंबर 1। नंबर 2, हमने, मेरे एक स्टूडेंट ने PhD किया कि जो वाटर स्क्रबिंग सिस्टम से मीथेन और कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड दोनों को सेपरेट करके से कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को भी बॉटल कर लीजिए, उसको यूज कर सकते हैं। देर आर 3 4 मेजर यूजेज फॉर कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड। यू कैन नॉट मेक इट फूड ग्रेड कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड क्योंकि इसमें 99.999% प्योरिफिकेशन चाहिए, मगर आप कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को अगर 80% 90% 95% तक भी ले आएंगे तो आप उसको ग्रेन स्टोरेज सिस्टम में यूज कर सकते हैं फ्यूमिगेशन करने के लिए। जो केमिकल पेस्टिसाइड्स वो नहीं करना पड़ेगा आपको, जो ग्रेन स्टोरेज सिस्टम है इंडिया में, छोटे लेवल पे बड़े लेवल पे सब जगह। दूसरा, आप उसको जो ग्रीन हाउसेज हैं एग्रीकल्चर वाले, उसमें थोड़ा सा कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड इंजेक्ट कर दीजिए, उनका थोड़ा सा लेवल कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड का बढ़ा देंगे तो आपका फूड प्रोडक्शन और आपका वेजिटेबल प्रोडक्शन क्रॉप प्रोडक्शन बढ़ जाएगा लगभग 15 20 25% तक। तीसरा, आप इसको ड्राई आइस बना के छोटे छोटे स्केल पे गांव में, स्कूलों में, हॉस्पिटल्स में बेच सकते हैं। तो ये जो 3 चीजें हैं, मुझे लगता है कि जो IIT दिल्ली में पिछले 2011 से, हमारे जो 2008 से हम चला रहे हैं, CBG बना रहे हैं, मगर पहले जो हम एक हमारी लैब में यूज करते थे गैस को, फिर हमने उसको प्योरीफाई करके गाड़ी में भरना शुरू किया, और 2011 से 2025 14 साल से जो MNRE ने गाड़ी हमको दी थी उसमें हम रोज गैस बनाते हैं, प्योरीफाई करते हैं, भरते हैं, सारी फैसिलिटी पायलट लेवल पे हमारे यहाँ अवेलेबल है। ओवरऑल आई कैन वॉच कि इंडिया में हम अगर 1 ton CBG प्रोडक्शन का डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड वे में सिस्टम करेंगे, चाहे वो ब्लॉक लेवल पे हो, गांव के क्लस्टर के लेवल पे हो या शहर का लेवल हो, तो वो इकोनॉमिक वाइबिलिटी आ जाएगी। और उसको आप जहाँ सीबीजी की सीएनजी की जरूरत है वहाँ उसको डिस्पेंस करिए। मगर अगर बायोगैस को डायरेक्टली यूज कर पाएंगे कुकिंग एलपीजी रिप्लेसमेंट में घरों में पाइपलाइन के थ्रू, तो वो भी एक बढ़िया ऑप्शन है। शहरों में भी आप छोटे लेवल पे अपने जो क्लस्टर्स हैं उसमें से हाउसिंग कॉलोनीज है वहाँ पे पाइपलाइन के थ्रू जो पीएनजी देते हैं उसकी जगह बायोगैस दे दीजिए, तो एनवायरमेंटली भी डिजाइन है और वो काम भी करेगी।
Okay.
या
Thank you so much, sir. I know how much difficult situation you are dealing with, but still you made yourself available and you shared your insights. So basically, I'm taking notes because I will go back and debrief Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs as an outcome of this event and what the experts basically opined on different aspects. So thank you so much, Vijay sir. You may continue with your travel plan. If there are any questions that basically comes your way, Kaifi or I will reach out to you and get those answers from you, sir.
थैंक यू, थैंक यू। मैं एयरपोर्ट बॉम्बे एयरपोर्ट में हूँ भी।
I know, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
थैंक यू।
Okay. So, Navindu, sir, let me now bring you in. Even though we introduced you in a different profile, but the whole world and the whole country knows you as an agricultural scientist and researcher, and the decades that you have spent with the IARI, ICAR. We had a lot of discussions about FOM, and we understand that it continues to be a challenge. So the question to you is, how can we solve this puzzle? Is it possible to enrich FOM? If it is possible, who will enrich it? Are we thinking about a different business ecosystem, or can it be retrofitted with the existing and functional Bio-CNG plants so that the FOM can leave the plant with those enriched properties which can have all the nutrients and compete with the chemical fertilizers? So your thoughts, sir? Yeah, you can also use this mic, whatever you can.
Very good afternoon. Many of you must be feeling sleepy and waiting for your beautiful lunch arranged by CAC. I being, scientist for 40 years in ICAR, I know the farmers at least 3-4 generations and our soil. So from that point of view, I will restrict myself to fermented organic matter. But I will start with this, that good technology need no advertisement. Similarly, good product needs no advertisement except initial push. I remember in 2005, we have developed a rice variety, Pusa Basmati 5. It's good variety, multi-location trials, and the protocol for release of a seed all have been done. In spite of that, no farmer were coming forward to take this because the land is precious, his time is precious, his money is precious to put in. So we had to go, farmer to convince. Today, in Sonipat belt and Panipat belt, you will find the good export quality, same basmati rice. And then when Pusa declares the sale of that seed, we have queues, not one queue, not hundreds. We have to control and call police to control the farmers. And they start coming at 4 o'clock at the NSC Pusa campus. You can come and visit and see yourself. So many farmers comes. So there I catch up this point the good products, when you demonstrate on his field and he sees himself, despite natural disasters, flooding, drought and so on, in spite of that, when he gets good seed and good products, he will buy everything. So in your case, if your FOM is good, they will buy. They will buy. No need of government subsidy, though the government is giving 1,500 rupees per ton. After superannuation in 2023, I had 2-3 offers from CBG because I was the principal investigator of Govardhan scheme to the government of India from ICR. So my experience is, of course, less than Professor Vijay Kumar, but had a very close connect with the farmers. So where FOM will go? What is this product? This product will ultimately go on the farmer's land. There is no other. We try to extract polyaromatic hydrocarbon, microplastic, as he said, from the municipal solid waste FOM. The, minute glass pieces are there. The construction debris. When we dissolve the slurry and decanted it by different means, we got good quantity of glass pieces, small glass pieces, microplastics, and this. Can we allow such product on the land, on the agricultural land, which is non-biodegradable? We have never from ICR recommended the use of FOM from MSW to be applied on the farmer's land. We have never. People may do anything, farmers may do anything, because that's their land and their choice. But from our side, ICR, because when I was the principal investigator, we had collected Indore plant. I visited when Nitish Kumar was there. And we have collected all the samples and did good amount of analysis. Who will do the real analysis? Who will do the real collection of the data? And primary data, not the secondary data. You assure it that your FOM has no such things. The farmer will buy, farmer will take. Now, why we say that FOM to be good? If it is from the, rice straw or biomass, agriculture biomass, no problem. From press mud, no problem. Because there are many sources, vegetable, fruit market, no problem. Anything, which is obtained from the agriculture, going back to the agriculture, absolutely no problem. But this waste, so segregation, as they all said, is very, very important. And the madam has also said that there should be a complete linkage, source collection, then segregation, and then technology. And, what farmer is doing? Farmer is putting one seed and bringing many seeds for you. So single seed conversion to the number of seeds. So that's it. And during this, production system, a lot of agrochemicals have been added, a lot of, practices done, agriculture operations are done, so many investment, and he waits till his many seeds will come. And risk of his money. He borrows. When you go close to the farmer, then only you will know that we should not ditch them. We should not deceive them. Now, what is your product? You yourself don't know. Most of these CBG producers do not know what is FOM in their hand. You measure pH, you measure EC, you measure heavy metals, you measure NPK, you measure secondary nutrient, you measure micronutrient, everything, moisture, so and so forth. What happens after 6 months? What is their spatio temporal change in your product, which you produced on 1st of January. And when it really go to the field, farmers, land, after, chain, dealer, this, transportation, 6 months. What are the changes in your product after 6 months? It's not urea. It's not muriate of potash. It is not single super phosphate. It is organic in nature, which is temperature dependent, which is moisture dependent. Therefore, when FCO amendment was there, I was called by DGICR because we worked together for 16 years. Dr. Pathak and me worked together in Division of Environmental Sciences for 16 years. So he knew, what my, thing, and he also knows that my frankness and honesty. I do not fear from anybody in the world. Whatever I do, I see, replicate it, and then only publish it. I published only 70 papers, whereas my colleagues of my, time of ARS examination might have 300. So everyone in ICR knew about me. Therefore, he called me in this meeting and asked me, what should be the protocol in FCO? What amendment should be brought in? I said, don't say fertilizer control order. It's not a fertilizer. FOM is not a fertilizer. To qualify it to be fertilizer, we must have a minimum quantity of nutrient, major or micro or secondary, whatever. So please coin the name organic carbon enhancer. So the amendment was effective. Government Gazette is released that this FOM, fermented organic manure, is organic carbon enhancer. Now, nobody is saying it's this. And I say that please keep this product away from urea SSP, because farmer is now used to see your product from nitrogen content, from phosphorus content, and potassium. He has understood what is NPK, and he has seen the results also. Therefore, whatever products you will take to him, he will say, sir, इसके अंदर नाइट्रोजन कितना है और आपके प्रोडक्ट में मिला के तीनों का 1.5 है, तो यूरिया में कितना है, तो 40% से कंपेयर करेंगे, तो इसको फर्टिलाइजर मत कहिए। अगर आपको रियल सेंस में इसके रिजल्ट्स देखने हैं तो ये कार्बन एनहांसर है, एंड कार्बन इज इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज now we have come to a level of 0.3%. Our soil is so poor in carbon. And farmer may not realize, but a scientist realize that what is the importance of the carbon because he felt it in his soil. Because of the carbon, microbial activities will enhance in the root zone particularly, whatever type of crop is. Maize है तो उसका पकड़ ऐसा होगा, ठीक है, राइस होगा, वीट होगा तो उसके फिलामेंट्स होंगे, बट लेगा तो वो न्यूट्रिएंट सॉइल से ही, उसकी अवेलेबिलिटी कौन करेगा? You have 50 carbon and 50 nitrogen, but they are in fixed state. अभी खाली लैंड पे आप कभी देखेंगे वीड भी नहीं होता, फैलो लैंड पे कोई यहाँ होगा कोई वहां होगा, but the moment you take crop, everything will come. Insects भी आ जाएंगे, pests भी आ जाएंगे, सब कुछ आ जाएगा। जमीन पे आप बीज बो दीजिए, पानी डाल दीजिए, देखो फिर सारा तमाशा, पूरी इकोलॉजी जो है वो आपको नजर आ जाएगी, रूट जोन से लेके उसकी फर्स्ट लीव्स तक, फाइनल लीफ तक, एंड एवरीथिंग, एंड देन फाइनल फ्लावर, एंड देन दी सीड फॉर्मेशन तक। ये सब कैसे होता है? ये सब नेचर है, बायोटिक एंड एबायोटिक स्ट्रेसेस को वो क्रॉस करता हुआ आ जाता है। क्या करती है जमीन? माइक्रोब्स। 1 spoon of productive soil contains, अंदाजा लगाइए कितने माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स होते होंगे। 1 स्पून का अंदर मेरे 5 ग्राम। 5 ग्राम प्रोडक्टिव सॉइल के अंदर कितने माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स होते होंगे, जरा अंदाजा लगाइए। मिलियंस। मेरा अपनी एनालिसिस है काउडंग की, 60 उसके अंदर प्रोटोजोआ होते हैं। 1.6 मिलियन हमारे को जो गाय मिली है ना, भैंस गाय मतलब बोवाइन एनिमल्स, ये सृष्टि की देन है। उसके रूमन में ही सारे माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स हैं जो बायोगैस टेक्नोलॉजी हम इतना सब कुछ करने की कोशिश करें। सारे हाइड्रोलाइटिक, एसिडोलाइटिक, एसिटोलाइटिक, मिथेनोजेनेसिस सारे हैं। कितने टाइप के मिथेनोजेनेसिस हैं? और रेट डिटरमिनिंग कौन सा स्टेप है इन ए सीबीजी इंडस्ट्री? सीबीजी प्रोडक्शन में कौन क्या चीज स्टॉप करती है या क्या नहीं करती है, फिनोलिक कंटेंट कितना है, हमें अपना प्रोडक्ट पता करना पड़ेगा। मैं अब आपको 2 मॉडल बताता हूँ, सिर्फ 2 मॉडल। एक सोशियो पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बताता हूँ। एक प्लांट है टोंक में, आई फॉरगॉट द नेम ऑफ दैट प्लांट, कलपत्रु। कलपत्रु वो मस्टर्ड बायोमास से इलेक्ट्रिसिटी प्रोड्यूस करते हैं। मस्टर्ड बायोमास, वो सोशियो, मैं आपको बता रहा हूं सोशियो एस्पेक्ट। फार्मर्स उनको बायोमास दे जाते हैं, वो उसको प्रोसेस करके इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जनरेट कर देते हैं और डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे वो बेच देते। अब फिर बायोमास में मिट्टी आनी शुरू हो गई, क्योंकि बाय वेट बायोमास बिकता था। 5 किलो बायोमास में आधा किलो मिट्टी डाल, 5.5 के पैसे आए। हर आदमी स्वार्थी है, तो फार्मर भी स्वार्थी है, उसमें कोई बुराई बात नहीं है। अब उनकी मैनेजमेंट ने ये सोचा कि ये क्या हो रहा है भाई, कैसे करें इसमें, तो मिट्टी को ही हमें अब सेपरेट करना शुरू कर दिया। ये जो मिट्टी आ रही है इसके पैसे हम बेकार में ही दिए जा रहे हैं। यू नो व्हाट मॉडल दे हैव क्रिएटेड, कि ये जो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी हम जनरेट करेंगे वापस तुम्ही को देंगे। आप लाओ बायोमास, वी विल जनरेट इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, गिव यू बैक, डिफरेंस हम आपसे ले लेंगे। एक से फॉर एग्जाम्पल, मैं आई डोंट हैव पिक्चर, मेरे पास प्रोजेक्ट था ये, इसलिए मैं उसकी स्टडी करी है। 1 रुपए में अगर हमने खरीदा आपका बायोमास और आपको 5 रुपए में बिजली दी, तो 4 रुपए ले लेंगे आपसे। अब जब फार्मर्स को लगा कि ओहो बिजली तो हमें मिलेगी बढ़िया, तो हम इनको भैया अपना सामान भी बढ़िया दिया है, मिट्टी आनी बंद हो गई, फीड स्टॉक की श्योरिटी हो गई, कंपनी चल पड़ी। अब जिसका भी आइडिया हो, जैसा भी हो, एंड रिजल्ट देखिए कितना ब्यूटीफुल मॉडल है। अब वो आज भी चल रहा है प्लांट। उनको वैसे दूसरी प्रॉब्लम थी, ऐश की प्रॉब्लम थी, जो आईसीआर को उन्होंने दिया प्रोजेक्ट, वो डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट है। पर बिसाइड दिस व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज कि पब्लिक पार्टिसिपेशन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। और जब तक हर इंसान का इंटरेस्ट कैच नहीं होगा ना, तब तक वो कुछ नहीं करेगा। अगर मैं बकवास करके यहाँ चला जाऊंगा ना, आप कोई भी नहीं सुनेंगे। और अगर मैं कुछ अच्छा अच्छा बोल रहा हूँ तो खाना भी भूल जाओगे, चलो आधे घंटे बाद खा लेंगे, कोई बात, आई एम श्योर। और एक लिमिट होती है 15 मिनट सुनने की, उसके ऊपर से दिमाग का काम करना बंद हो जाता है। अब लेक्चर भी क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ एमएससी पीएचडी भी होती थी, हम फैकल्टी मेंबर भी थे, तो हम सब समझते थे। वह अब ये या तो हॉस्टल में खाने की तैयारी करें, या इनकी आईएएस की क्लास स्टार्ट होने वाली है करोल बाग में, तो भाई वो जो 6-7 बच्चे बैठे हैं उनमें से कोई घड़ी देख रहा है, जानबूझ के सर देख लें कि टाइम हो गया है। घड़ी मतलब वैसे तो उसको पता है क्या टाइम हुआ है, पर उस समय जरूर देखेगा जब सर देख रहे होंगे उसको, to remind you कि close it now, it's high time to close it। सो इंटरेस्ट, एवरीवन हैज इंटरेस्ट। तो फार्मर्स का इंटरेस्ट है तो क्या गलत है? अब आपने 1500 रुपए टन उसको दे दिया तब भी नहीं बिक रहा। अब आज जितने सीबीजी प्लांट हैं, जितने भी सेमिनार में मैं जाता हूं या मुझे कोई बुला लेता है गलती से, तो मेरे सुनने में यही आता है कि एफओएम का डिस्पोजल नहीं हो रहा। कम टू यमुनानगर इन माय प्लांट, after superannuation I joined for 2 years now, SPS Biochem. We have neither any problem on FOM disposal nor on LFOM, not on CPG. कोई भी आप किसी से भी अब नेक्स्ट सेमिनार में कहीं जाएंगे, ये पूछना गैस के डिस्पोजल की प्रॉब्लम है क्या, कोई गैस फ्लेयर कर रहा है क्या? गैस पे कोई बात नहीं कर रहा, क्योंकि ऐसे जा रहा है गैस, तो ऑटोमोबाइल्स में जा रहा है, इंडस्ट्री ले जा रही है, एचपीओएल ले जा रहा है, एचपीओएल ना ले जाएगा तो बीपीसीएल ले जाएगा, बीपीसीएल नहीं ले जाएगा आईओसीएल ले जाएगा। जितने आरओ हैं, पंप स्टेशन है, और नहीं तो अपना ही पंप डाल लिया, जैसे सुनने में आया। गैस की किसी ने कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं बताई है अभी तक। सब कौन सी प्रॉब्लम बता रहे हैं? एफओएम की। और सबकी क्यों, क्या मजबूरी है? व्हाई दिस मॉडल इज फेल? व्हाई सीबीजी सेक्टर इज परफॉर्मिंग वेरी बैड? could not kick up, for last 6 years, despite Satat policy, Govardhan policy, this subsidy, that subsidy, and so on. Because आपने फार्मर्स को कैच ही नहीं किया। सीबीजी 1 टन के लिए रफली 6 टाइम्स आपका एफओएम बन जाता है। ठीक है, वट एवर आपका फीड स्टॉक जो भी है, रफली आई एम सेइंग 5 to 7 टाइम्स आपने। अब उस वॉल्यूम का इस वॉल्यूम से कंपैरिजन कर रहे हैं, और इसको क्या बोल रहे हैं? सीबीजी इंडस्ट्री। जो 1 है उसको सीबीजी सेक्टर, और जो 6 है, आई एम जस्ट टेकिंग, प्लीज डोंट कैच माई पॉइंट, बिकॉज मैं फिर बाद में वर्कआउट करके बता दूंगा। 6 टाइम्स जो है, एटलीस्ट 5 टाइम्स तो है, उसका कहीं नाम ही नहीं है। कोई कह रहा है एफओएम इंडस्ट्री है ये, कोई कह रहा है कि कार्बन प्रोड्यूसिंग इंडस्ट्री है ये, कोई नहीं कह रहा। और फिर कह रहे हैं कि बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है। 1500 तुम उसमें दिए जा रहे हो, यहां पर आप 70, 75, 90 तक के गैस ले लेके तैयार हो रहे हो, उस बेचारे को कुछ नहीं दे रहे। जो आपको फूड, फोडर, फ्यूल तीनों चीज देता है, फूड भी देता है, फोडर भी देता है जो चाहिए बेसिक, और फ्यूल भी है। एनर्जी क्रॉप क्या है? ठीक है, ऑयल, डीजल ऑयल, ये सब भी है। बाकी आप माइनिंग कर रहे हैं, नेचर से निकाल रहे हैं, ले तो यही रहे हैं ना सब। तो एक तो कोई बात अब तो मेरी खुद सुनता नहीं है गवर्नमेंट में भी, ठीक है। अगर कोई सुन ले थ्रू यू या थ्रू एनीबडी, भैया इस इंडस्ट्री का नाम थोड़ा सा एफओएम को भी क्रेडिट दे दो और इसका नाम में कुछ बदलाव ले आओ। फाइंड गुड नेम जिससे पता लगे।
2011 में हमने नरेंद्र जी 2011 में हमने एमएनआर के साथ मिलकर बायोगैस फर्टिलाइजर प्लांट नाम रखा था बीजीएफपी।
बहुत सही था सर, लेकिन आपकी बात नहीं मानी गई ना। तो एक छोटा सा, आई एम जस्ट आउट ऑफ बॉक्स सेइंग, अगर ऐसा हो तो आपके एरिया के लोग ये जानेंगे, अच्छा ये प्लांट फर्टिलाइजर से रिलेटेड है, बायो फर्टिलाइजर है यहाँ पर। अब सब लोगों को क्या लगता है कि सीबीजी, अरे अपने आप बना रहे होंगे अपनी गैस, अपने बेच रहे होंगे, हमको क्या लेना देना। तो अराउंड दिस मैसेज जो फार्मर्स को मैसेज जाना चाहिए, वो ये जाना चाहिए। ठीक है। दूसरा, आपको एफओएम की क्वालिटी का पता होना चाहिए, और बहुत बारीकी से पता होना चाहिए। आपने एनालिसिस करा ली NABL एक्रेडिटेड लैब से, जो FCO की रिक्वायरमेंट, आपकी मजबूरी है, बहुत सारी चीजों की मजबूरी है, क्योंकि एग्रीकल्चर ऑफिसर्स भी बैठे हुए हैं हर एरिया में, जो मुझे अब पता लग रहा है पिछले 2 साल से। BDO क्या बोलते हैं उसको, ADO, हाँ, वो हमारे स्टूडेंट्स हैं कई जो हमने पढ़ाए हैं, तो उनका गलती नहीं है, हमारी गलती है। वो अच्छा ये वाला हो गया पैरामीटर, ये हो गया, ये हो गया, ये नहीं हुआ जी, रिजेक्टेड, ले जाओ भी अपना सैंपल, और 500 टन आपके प्लांट में पड़ा रह गया। या तो उसको डैश डैश डैश, या फिर जो है क्या नाम है, अपना 500 टन ले जाओ वापस, क्योंकि वो अगर रिपोर्ट नहीं पास करेगा तो आप एग्रीकल्चर में जा नहीं सकते, आपका लाइसेंस भी कैंसिल। मिनिस्ट्री तो अलग एक्शन लेगी बाद में, फाइल चल पड़ेगी। अब ये फाइल कभी, मैंने तो एज ए रिसर्चर, एज ए साइंटिस्ट, हमने तो कभी फाइल का सोचा ही नहीं कि फाइल भी चल पड़ती है कभी। मुझे तो यही था कि जो हम काम कर रहे हैं, कभी फुर्सत ही नहीं मिली जिंदगी में, 37 साल निकाल दिए कि क्या, जमीन से फार्मर्स और लैब, बस ये रहा हमारा। अब पता लगा कि ये इसके अलावा भी भाई बहुत सारे काम थे। हम सोचे थे हम इनको पढ़ा रहे हैं, ये बैंकों में जा रहे हैं, नाबार्ड में जा रहे हैं, कोई एग्रीकल्चर ऑफिसर बन रहा है, कोई कहीं जा रहा है। वो आके हमको बताते थे, सर आपका शिष्य जो है वो ADO लग गया है। भाई बहुत बढ़िया बात है, हमने सोचा एग्रीकल्चर के काम कर रहा होगा, हमें क्या पता ये तो भैया पैसे को करेंसी का काम कर रहा है। हम वही स्केल में ढूंढते रह गए, भाई लेवल 1 है, 2 है, 3 है, हमारा कितना हो गया भाई, हो गया। ये तो गवर्नमेंट ने अच्छा किया हुआ है, साइंटिस्ट को हर 5 साल के बाद उसका स्केल चेंज कर देती है अपने आप ऑटोमेटिकली, और बैंक में पैसे आ जाते हैं 30 तारीख को। नहीं तो हम भी ऐसे ही झांकते फिरते रहते। सॉरी, देखो अगर भाई साहब मैं पूरा टेक्निकल रखूंगा ना तो ये सारे जल्दी जल्दी भाग जाएंगे, 5-7 मिनट। और कई बार दिल की बातें भी दिखानी चाहिए ना, वो है, वो है। Anyway, the message here is that first of all, before we convince our farmer, we should convince ourselves whether our FOM is really good or not. Number one, whether we have tracked down all the good analysis of it. इसमें NPK कितना है, इसमें ऑर्गेनिक कार्बन कितना है, CN रेशो कितनी है, मॉइस्चर कितना है, फंगस है कि नहीं है, पैथोजन है कि नहीं है। अब म्युनिसिपल सॉलिड वेस्ट में E. coli की सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है, सैल्मोनेला की सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है। अगर वो सॉल्व आपने कर दी तो आपके X वहां पर हैं, वो सर्वाइव हो जाएंगे सॉइल में जाने के बाद। ठीक है, फर्मेंटेशन इज एन एक्सोथर्मिक प्रोसेस, काफी कुछ वहां किल हो जाएगा। फिर आपने सेग्रीगेशन कर दिया, ये कर दिया, बहुत अच्छा कर दिया। फ्रॉम बायोलॉजी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू हम सॉइल को देखते हैं, फिजिकल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, केमिकल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू एंड बायोलॉजिकल पॉइंट ऑफ। तो क्या आपका प्रोडक्ट उन तीनों पे कोई इम्पैक्ट डाल रहा है कि नहीं डाल रहा? अल्टीमेटली उसकी प्रोड्यूस क्या है? अगर उसकी ऑर्गेनिक प्रोड्यूस है तो शेल्फ लाइफ बढ़ जाएगी, पोस्ट हार्वेस्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट कम हो जाएगी, पोस्ट हार्वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट्स जो होंगे उसकी वैल्यू बढ़ जाएगी, तो फूड चेन बेहतर हो जाएगा। तो फर्स्ट थिंग इज ऑल CBG प्रोड्यूसर्स शुड इंश्योर द गुड क्वालिटी FOM, number 1. Number 2, sustaining of that quality for at least 6 months, जब तक कि वो फार्मर्स फील्ड पर रियली एप्लीकेबल होगा। तो जो आज आपने पीएच मेजर की तो कोई मॉइस्चर रहा होगा, जनवरी में मेजर करी, जून में उसने अप्लाई करी, कोई मॉइस्चर लेवल रहा होगा, उसकी पीएच में कोई चेंज आया, ड्रास्टिक चेंज आया कि नहीं आया। एसिडिक सॉइल में वो अप्लाई कर रहेगा, बेस अपने अल्कलाइन सॉइल में कर रहेगा, किस में करेगा, उसकी सॉइल अंडरस्टैंड करो। CBG इंडस्ट्री में एग्रीकल्चर से रिलेटेड लोग ही नहीं है, और जब लोग ही नहीं है तो वो फार्मर से क्या इंटरेक्ट करेंगे? फिर कहते हैं कि FOM बिक नहीं रहा। बहुत आराम से बिकेगा, मैंने आपको बताया ना, हमारा एफओएम में तो कोई दिक्कत ही नहीं है, बिकॉज आई एम इन कॉन्स्टेंट टच। 200 250 फार्मर्स को मैं एड्रेस करता हूँ। वहाँ ये बकवास नहीं करता जो मैं अभी थोड़ी सी यहाँ करी है। उनके साथ तो बिल्कुल ही वैसा रिलेशन है ना। दे वेरी सेंसिटिव कॉमोडिटी। उनको तो उनके रीजन में क्या वो यूज कर रहे हैं। और देखिए फार्मर्स बड़ा ओरिएंटेड फार्मर्स होता है अपने क्वेश्चन को। उसको अगर गन्ने की खेती लगानी है ना, आप उसको कहोगे ना मेज की ये फिजियोलॉजी है, मेज की ये एग्रोनॉमिक पैकेज है, वो सुनेगा ही नहीं। कान उसके बंद होंगे, समोसा खा रहा होगा। जैसे ही आप कहोगे ना केन शुगर की ये, हाँ जी साहब मैं ध्यान नहीं था, जरा दोबारा बोलना। क्योंकि वो बड़ा फोकस्ड है कि भाई मेरे को अपनी जमीन में केन शुगर लेना है, तो इसके बारे में क्या बता रहे हो आप। और हमने उन्हीं फार्मर्स की 5 एकड़ लैंड की 1 एकड़ लैंड ले ली कि इसमें सब कुछ हम करेंगे। एफओएम अपना डालेंगे, बीज हम, तुम्हारा वाला जो बीज तुम 4 के लिए डालोगे वही डालेंगे, सब कुछ वो डालेंगे। एक हम अपना एडिशनल एफओएम डालेंगे एंड सी द रिजल्ट्स। जब वो देखता है रिजल्ट्स, तब वो कहता है बाबूजी अब ये पूरे 5 में डालेंगे। और इसके लिए क्या होगा, 6 मंथ्स लगेंगे। हम क्या कर रहे हैं, वो हमारा प्रोडक्शन तो रोज का हो रहा है, 6 टाइम्स रोज आ रही है। हम सोचे ये कल ही चला जाए, जो आज आया है उसको जितना ड्राई करना है 40% गवर्नमेंट ने कर ही दिया। इतना मॉइस्चर, तो इतना मॉइस्चर अलाउ है, चले भाई ट्रैक्टर से चला जाए। ट्रॉली ट्रैक्टर लाए कोई फार्मर्स और उसको उठा के ले जाए। कैसे ले जाएगा भाई। तो फार्मर्स अवेयरनेस, फार्मर्स टीचिंग। तो आई विल रिक्वेस्ट अतीन नेक्स्ट टाइम bring hundreds and hundreds of farmers, arrange a meeting, और उससे पहले उन फार्मर्स की क्या क्रॉप पैटर्न है, व्हाट इज क्रॉपिंग सिस्टम, उसको लाएं, फिर आप प्रोपोगेट करें तो है। आइए सिटिंग इन ए मंत्रालय मेकिंग ए पॉलिसी। अब मेरे को यही नहीं समझ आया ये 1500 क्यों दी फिगर, 1200 और 2000 क्यों नहीं। Who has calculated कि सब्सिडी 1500 ही क्यों है। देखो किसी ने तो कैलकुलेशन करी होगी ना, तो कोई तो बेस बनाया होगा ना। आई एम जस्ट वंडरिंग। मैं वही तो पूछ रहा हूं, ये जो एमडीए हमने डिक्लेयर करी उसका क्या बेस था, वो कंपोस्ट था बेस। हाँ वही उन्होंने कंटिन्यू कर दी। अब बताओ भाई, अब तुम्हारा ये एफओएम नया प्रोडक्ट है, पिछले 5 साल में आया है, इसको प्रोपोगेट कंपोस्ट से क्यों कंपैरिजन कर रहे हो। कंपोस्ट तो एरोबिक है, इसमें तो आपके अमोनियम आयन है। खाली एन, अब एन बोल देने से नहीं होता है। एन इन व्हाट फॉर्म, प्लांट टेक्स एन आइदर इन अमोनियम फॉर्म और इन नाइट्रेट फॉर्म। वो एजिटोबैक्टर, नाइट्रोसोमाना, ये सब क्या करेंगे, और ये एक्टिविटीज कैसे आएगी, when there will be carbon. So point here is understand your product, shelf life कह लो या जो भी कह लो, उसकी characteristics में क्या चेंज आया आफ्टर 6 months, एक पीरियड, ये 3 महीने या 6 महीने वट एवर यू कैन टेक, उसमें क्या चेंज आया, एंड देन व्हेन इट इज फाइनली अप्लाइंग टू दिस एंड इम्पैक्ट असेसमेंट, पहले वो तो कर लो। हम इतनी जल्दी में हैं क्योंकि क्या है, मालिक ने पैसे लगा दिए 100 करोड़। अब वो जो मालिक 100 करोड़ लगाया तो उसने 100 करोड़ कहीं से कमाए होंगे, उसको यही पता है कि 100 करोड़ कैसे कमाए हैं। वो फिर मैनेजर, चीफ मैनेजर, मैं अपनी कंपनी में कह दिया डोंट लुक एट मी फॉर रिटर्न ऑफ आरओआई, क्या बोलते हो आप लोग। हाँ 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 हाँ, प्लीज डोंट लुक एट मी ऑन दिस। मुझे जो काम आप दोगे मैं उसको ईमानदारी से फुल एनर्जी से कर दूंगा। बाकी डू नॉट एक्सपेक्ट फ्रॉम मी कि कोई मिरेकल हो जाएगा। ये लैंड है, आज आप सीड बोगे जैसे बच्चा है। हम माँ बाप भी इन्वेस्टमेंट ही देख रहे हैं ना बच्चे में, कि भाई ये मेरा बुढ़ापे में कितना ख्याल करेगा। कहो ना कहो, एंड ऑफ द डे में यही है मन में कि मेरा बच्चा मेरा बुढ़ापे में क्या सेवा करेगा। चाहे वह कहूँ ना कहूँ, कहूँ मैं बहुत प्यार से पाल रहा हूँ, पर पर्पस मेरा यही है, बुढ़ापे में ऐसे ही इन्वेस्टर, सो नथिंग रॉन्ग, इसे इकोलॉजी। सो सॉरी, मैं 2-3 अब फटाफट पढ़ देता हूं, मैंने यहीं बैठे बैठे किया है। एक तो आप अपने एफओएम में मेजर माइक्रो न्यूट्रिएंट और सेकेंडरी न्यूट्रिएंट की कंटेंट बताते ही हैं। ऑर्गेनिक कार्बन बता दीजिए, CN रेशियो बता दीजिए, विच इज नाउ फेयरली गुड। अब पहले हमने 20:1 था फॉर कंपोस्ट एंड एवरीथिंग, नाउ इट हैज बीन एनहांस्ड टू 30:1। रीजन बीइंग, इससे ज्यादा भी नहीं कर सकते, बिकॉज अगर कार्बन के एटम्स ज्यादा होंगे, इसको ऐसे रफली समझ लीजिए, वो नाइट्रोजन को रिलीज ही नहीं करेगा, वो फिक्स करेगा, उसके अराउंड घूमता रहेगा। तो देयर इज ए लिमिट, तो 10 बढ़ाना इज फेयर इनफ आई थिंक। क्योंकि फिर डिनोमिनेटर न्यूमरेटर की कहानी आ जाएगी, मैथमेटिशियन बीच में टपकेंगे, तो फिर ये सारा देखना पड़ेगा। और हाँ, यस, ऑर्गेनिक कार्बन जब हम डालेंगे तो एग्रीगेशन मिनिमम हो जाता है, ये माय प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपीरियंस। वाटर होल्डिंग कैपेसिटी बढ़ जाती है, इवेपोरेशन कैपेसिटी कम हो जाती है, रेट ऑफ इवेपोरेशन कम हो जाता है, सो द इरिगेशन वाटर विल ऑल विल बी सेव्ड, यू नो। देन क्वालिटी प्रोड्यूस आती है। और यस, एंड में जो मैं आजकल मेजर काम कर रहा हूँ, और जो मेरे से क्वेश्चन भी था, गए कहाँ, ट्रेवल कर गया मैं आउट ऑफ बॉक्स, कि हम उसकी फर्दर क्वालिटी कैसे बढ़ा दें फ्रॉम फार्मिंग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू। सो दैट इज नोन एज एनरिचमेंट, आइदर बाय एनरिचमेंट। अब ये जो एनरिचमेंट भी है, इसको एज ए साइंटिस्ट आई सी फ्रॉम 3 पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू। एक तो होता है न्यूट्रिएंट एनरिचमेंट, विच इज ए डायरेक्ट, यू नो, नाइट्रोजन कैसे बढ़ जाए, जैसे क्लोरेला, एल्गल, कुछ भी आप बायोमास ऐड करके बढ़ा सकते हैं। प्रोफेसर विजय, यू आर यू स्टिल देयर? आई थिंक हिज फ्लाइट इज देयर. No, he's still there? Oh yeah, he is left. Then I would have asked, because he's still in the research, so he could have taken. But I have developed a lab also, and my honors are very good, so they are investing money like anything. तो वही हमने कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को भी टैपिंग के लिए अपनी एक फैसिलिटी डेवलप कर ली है। आफ्टर सेपरेटिंग मीथेन फ्रॉम दिस, वी हैव ए PSA टेक्निक in our plant, VPSA technique. So the carbon dioxide, and there is a practically lot of loss in this technique. Though it is said 6% you are technically man, but we are having 12-13% loss of methane. So 20-30% loss of methane, global warming, CO2 is nothing in front of that. So CO2 is also we are tapping, creating a good biomass and using in our anaerobic digestion. And we are getting good amount of, you know, biogas in this. So that's one thing. Another thing I wanted to say is that enrichment, nutrient enrichment, and number 2, biocontrol agent addition. If we add Trichoderma harginium, Trichoderma vidi, you know, the antifungal agent, anti-nematodes, nematicides, or some, you know, amalgamation to the soil through your FOM will save farmers second, third operations. एक ही प्रोडक्ट में, FOM के प्रोडक्ट में, FOM को हम ब्रॉडकास्ट कर दें, उसी में हमने एंटी फंगल एजेंट भी डाल दिया, और उसी में हमने एंटी नेमेटिसाइड्स डाल दिया, सॉरी एंटी नेमाटोड डाल दिया एजेंट, तो वो उसकी लेबर कितनी बच गई, सेकंड थर्ड ऑपरेशन उसको नहीं करना पड़ा, एंड योर प्रोडक्ट विल गो बिकॉज इट विल शो द रिजल्ट्स। हम ये कहते हैं एग्रीकल्चर साइंस रिसर्च इज टेंजिबल इन नेचर, दिखनी चाहिए। वो आप आओ कहो हमने ये कर दिया वो कर दिया। मैं जिससे साइंटिफिक सेमिनार वगैरह में जाता था ना, ईल्ड किसी ने अपने ट्रीटमेंट में 10% बढ़ा दी, किसी ने 20, किसी में 15, किसी में 20, टोटल मिला के देखोगे तो 200% ईल्ड बढ़ गई। 2.5 टन पर हेक्टेयर की बजाय 2.5 टाइम्स बढ़ गई। अरे भाई वाह, इससे बढ़िया टेक्नोलॉजी क्या होगी। मैंने कहा ये टेक्नोलॉजी हमें दे जा भाई, तो गपशप नहीं चलती है, सीधा सीधा रिजल्ट फील्ड में नजर आता है। ले आओ भी अपना प्रोडक्ट, लगा दो अपना प्रोडक्ट एंड शो अस द रिजल्ट्स। अब जैसे गैस है, गैस में कोई शो नहीं करने की जरूरत है, वो तो है ही मीथेन। अगर मीथेन नहीं है तो गाड़ी कैसे चलेगी? तो शो इसलिए बायो फर्टिलाइजर बना लो, बायो कंट्रोल एजेंट डाल लो, एफओएम को एनरिच कर लो, एफओएम ऐसे बिकेगा जैसे कुछ नहीं। थैंक यू सो मच एंड sorry for taking you to different profile.
All right. So we have almost come to the end of the time that we basically thought. If I may request it, because since it is part of the discussion and we are really interested to know if there are questions for the panelists, we'll not be able to take too many of them. I just don't want to delay the lunch and risk my life that way. So I will request Siddharth to continue this for another maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Is that okay? All right. Okay. All right.
Okay. So only two hands. That's good news, sir. Kathy, can we?
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Devendra. I'm from Thrashcon Labs Private Limited. It's a Bangalore-based company. We are working in a sector like, we make a technology that segregate waste into different fractions like wet waste, dry waste, inert, and metals. Since morning, we are discussing about, segregation is one of the important factor in waste management, which was like discussed by everyone. So my point is, in fact,
Sir,
it's a request.
if you have a question
Yeah.
to the panelist, आप उनका नाम लीजिए, सवाल पूछिए।
पैनलिस्ट के लिए नहीं है, मुझे
सबके लिए।
अतिन जी के लिए है।
अतिन जी के लिए। अतिन
Because
जी
he is
कहाँ
going
है?
to
अतिन जी को-
summarize.
हाँ।
मेरा पॉइंट ये है कि देखिए सेग्रीगेशन जो है ना, अभी मैनुअल सेग्रीगेशन ये चल रहा है एंड पूरा सेग्रीगेशन आईसी बेस्ड मॉडल पे चल रहा है कि आईसी विल टेक केयर ऑफ थिंग, पीपल विल सेग्रीगेट वेस्ट एट their household level. This is such a thought, like believing that by teaching moral science, though we will bring down the crime, and therefore हम पुलिस और सिक्योरिटी कम कर देंगे, उसका खर्चा कम कर देंगे. This is like ऐसा thought है. So my point is कि rather than relying on people who will segregate waste someday, maybe 10 years after today, so we should think about mechanized method of segregation. So this will give a consistency in the output also, and it will be less labor intensive, and there won't be any biasness in the waste which is segregated, because machines don't create biasness. उसको डिजाइन किया है वेट वेस्ट निकालने के लिए, वेट वेस्ट निकालेगा, डजंट मैटर वो कितना भी गंदा क्यों ना।
So that is the point that you want to make.
ये आप समराइज करके जो गवर्नमेंट को देंगे तो प्लीज आप इसको
We will incorporate that. Okay.
Yes, sir, please.
Cost.
सर 1 टन पर डे कैपेसिटी बहुत छोटा कैपेसिटी है। फॉर एग्जांपल हमारा सबसे जो छोटा मॉडल है दैट इज 5 टन्स पर डे कैपेसिटी मिक्स म्युनिसिपल वेस्ट के लिए, इट वुड कॉस्ट अराउंड 40 लाख रुपीस 5 टन्स के लिए पर डे करीब 8 आवर्स में सर पूरा प्रोसेस
अगर हम 24 घंटे चलाएंगे तो 15 टन हो जाएगा।
कर सकता है, डिजाइन किया गया है 16 घंटे चलाने के लिए उसको।
Okay. No, but that is what I had in mind, because if I were to respond to this question, my response would be that our urban local bodies are already burdened. They are practically burdened with every different aspect, right from source segregation, IEC, collection, transportation, landfill remediation. ठीक है. And if we, I mean, see, I do not disagree with you, but this is not the only approach. There can be a mixed bag approach of कहीं पे citizens कर रहे हैं, वहां पे आपको
सबसे बड़ा
why would you again? So I want to close and move to different people, because we can have a bilateral conversation
Yeah, sure.
outside over lunch, right? So I've noted down your point, but this is also a point that we have to consider, that there are urban local governments who are already drowned under a lot of, pressure, financial pressure. So moving to the next question. Yes, here.
Hi, my name is Rishita. I'm from Sahar. So my question is for Vishalji. Vishalji, you said that after you started operations, you were facing challenge of source segregation, and then you implemented IEC activities. So specifically, how much time it took you and how much it costed you from 10 to 70% of segregation level? So how much time and how much cost happened? So, and again, my point being that once we factor all these cost. So one cost that we are missing is the investment in the behavioral change, which is free to everything. And if we can factor in, because that cost, somebody has to pay that cost, either the ULB or the civil society or through the CSR, depending on where the source is. But we should have that component uh, built in this whole chain so that that aspect is not missing out. Again, as a mixed bag approach, that approach is also very important. So I wanted to understand from you, sir, that how much time it took and how much money it took. Rough idea.
Yeah, actually, this is still an ongoing activity, means because it can't be just a once thing and it has been end. But we are almost spending less than a lakh rupees a month on getting, because we are doing it in a cluster-wise way, but roughly around a lakh rupees a month what we are spending. And this we are doing it like it's a perpetual thing, because people will, if we do just once, they will forget. So we have to do it every time.
This is, you're accounting this cost in your operation.
Yeah, we have to mess now, because like that initially it was not, but now that is a cost which has been accounting over there.
Okay.
वहाँ एक रिजोल्यूशन पास होगा कि वो घर से कूड़ा ही नहीं उठाएंगे अगर आप कहते हैं उस घर से कूड़ा ही नहीं उठाएंगे अगर आपने सेपरेट नहीं किया। 2 दिन आप कूड़ा रख के देख लीजिए घर में, अपने आप सेपरेट करेंगे। कुछ हमें सुधारने के लिए ना कुछ डंडे चलाने भी बहुत जरूरी है, वो भी थोड़ा सा इम्प्लीमेंट करके एक बार देखो।
सर अथॉरिटीज अलाउ नहीं करते ना सर, अथॉरिटी हमें फाइन करती है।
Vote bank is also important, sir.
That's हाँ हाँ
फ्रेंड है वो
हाँ
वो चल रहा है अभी
हाँ
ग्रेटर नोएडा की सर बात कर रहे हैं, मैं एचसीएल के साथ एसोसिएटेड हूँ, तो वहाँ पर ये जो कलेक्शन एजेंसी है डूइंग अ वंडरफुल जॉब।
हाँ
प्लैनेट और फीडबैक फाउंडेशन ये उठाते ही नहीं है कचरा,
बस
खाते हैं ये रहा कचरा आपके घर में, हम जा रहे हैं, हम आपका नहीं लेके जाएंगे।
Yes.
वंडरफुल जॉब ग्रेटर नोएडा, आई थिंक जस्ट अ फ्यू मंथ्स व्हिच हैज स्टार्टेड और
यस ऐसे मॉडल काम करेंगे। हाँ हाँ
Okay. So Vidya, you had a question.
Yeah, I have 2 questions. Myself, Vidya Bhushan Singh, working in waste domain from IP Global. So one question is, what is the future of CNG as we are seeing the transition to EV, public transport and other vehicles are going through the EV. So what is the future and how it is being taken care in the ULVs as public transport and other options? And second question is how to deal with the ULVs who are just waiting for the mass incineration or mechanical or you can say the mixed waste processing units, because they are not, they have been taught that segregation can't happen and they have agreed that segregation can't happen. So how to deal with these ULVs? They are still waiting for waste to energy plant and just to incinerate even the food waste, even the plastic waste and all the resources to the plant. Yeah.
Any specific panelist you have?
CNG from Everenvaro or any expert and
So this is very good question. So the natural gas consumption requirement of India is so much huge that it's not depend upon the only vehicle sector. It's depend upon the PNG, piped natural gas. It's also in industries. So if you compare the consumption in industries and PNG, still the requirement is. So there is no competition of Bio-CNG and e-vehicles. Your gas will be consumed in other sectors. Second, in the mindset, the ULBs are thinking that no segregation is not possible. So put all the garbage into the incineration plant, and this is the only option. This will not work because for running a incineration plant, lot of land is required. So there is generation of bottom ash, there is generation of fly ash. If the waste is not segregated, the proper burning of waste will not happen, and some huge quantity of residue may generate, maybe 35% and 45%. So if you are putting 1,000 tons per day in a incineration plant and you are getting unburned or fly ash bottom ash 350, so this technology will not work. So segregation is the only solution. आज आप समझ लीजिए या कल समझिए, segregation is the only solution, whether it is mechanical or manual. The problem in mechanical, if we source, the quality of source segregated waste is so good, you can recycle the material. दूध की पन्नी, काली पन्नी, पीली पन्नी, every पन्नी you can recycle, you can get good revenue from them. But if you put all the mixed garbage into a machine and you are supposing this machine will segregate the waste, the contamination will be the problem, and revenue from these residue will be another problem. So I don't know what is his claim. We have to understand what is the methodology of mechanical segregation and what is the outcome of this waste. So I think
I myself had ventured into recycling of Tetra Pak into paper, and वो Tetra Pak हम खरीदते थे कूड़े वाले से because it was what has करके भी the clear paper never used to come. There used to be spotting even after taking out the chemicals डाल के भी अगर हम करते थे, it never used to come. And the moment I started gathering the Tetra Pak from residents, sourcing it, अलग रखो और दो, and the paper started changed, the recycled paper changed. So that is what I experienced personally. तो बाद में segregate करने का कोई फायदा नहीं.
So we are copying the good practices from Europe and developed countries. वहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? वहाँ पे population is so less, उनकी education बहुत high है, तो वो segregation proper कर रहे हैं और proper recycling हो रही है, क्योंकि उनका quantum बहुत कम है. हमारे यहाँ problem क्या है? हमारे यहाँ population बहुत ज्यादा है और सब अनपढ़ लोग भरे हुए हैं. उनको मालूम ही नहीं कि segregation कैसे करना है, इसका क्यों करना है. वो ठीक है, 50 रुपया 30 रुपया देने के लिए कंपनी से झगड़ते हैं. तो आई थिंक डंडा चलाना बहुत जरूरी है.
वैसे एक इसमें ना एक आइडिया आई वाज वंडरिंग फॉर क्वाइट अ गुड टाइम. बायोचार जो इंसिनरेशन का ये बात कर रहे हैं, इफ फ्रॉम दिस MSW वेस्ट पर्टिकुलरली अगर हम इंसिनरेट करके, इंसिनरेशन मींस पायरोलाइसिस नो, सो इसमें से अगर हमें बायोचार मिलता है तो बायोचार इज अनदर फर्टिलाइजर. वी कैन वर्क ऑन दिस. दूसरा, जो गैसेस निकलती हैं उसका भी अगर हम प्रोफाइल एनालिसिस करें तो देयर इज ए पॉलीएरोमेटिक हाइड्रोकार्बन व्हिच इज आल्सो यूज्ड. आई थिंक नॉट टुडे, डाउन सम इयर्स वी मे वर्क ऑन दिस एंड इंडस्ट्री पीपल मे टेक दिस. क्योंकि अगर MSW इसी तरीके से चलता रहा और FOM नहीं बिका तो मुझे बहुत ज्यादा अच्छे ब्राइट फ्यूचर नजर नहीं आ रहा, particularly from MSW.
Yeah. Okay. So Adil, last question from your, sorry, we have, but I mean, we also have to go for lunch, right? Yeah. Yeah. So last question, and then I will come over and chat with you.
More on the offtake of FOM to back to the ULB. They have the city parks and even RWS have parks. So how has been your experience of taking back the compost back to the city before it goes for the, let's say, the farmer? City itself is using.
Good idea. We have said this only because in the community park or in the city park or wasteland पे, you can always do railway line के आसपास कर दे, वहाँ ग्रीनरी अपने आप आ जाएगी. This is good. But लेकिन उसमें पैसे है ना, who will pay?
Transportation.
पैसे देगा.
The cost is a very major aspect, right, of moving things from. So, sir, you want to respond, please? Okay, so please go ahead. Last question. It was a quick one.
So, in this whole scenario, I've not even heard one word about waste pickers. And they are the immediate people who take that waste. And secondly, I'm looking into policy a lot these days, and I've been comparing this to solar energy too. What are the things that are lacking? What are things which are not lacking? We don't really have a single window system. We have 8 ministries involved with state agencies without a single window, which I think solar has figured out with solar Sahelis and everything. But we have failed to still incorporate waste pickers into these questions, plus find a single window solution for this. So how do we include all of this in the equation, especially when we have had this long conversation and we've not even had that conversation?
For this only CBD sector, how many ministries are involved? 7 ministries are involved. Because I'm interministry task force member. 7 ministries. Single window for task. I think the project.
And for the waste pickers aspect, I mean, even Mao can comment on this, but I think we've seen very limited models where waste pickers are able to earn a livelihood from wet waste, right? It could be you are providing a service, composting service आप provide कर रहे हो, but most of their revenue still comes from the dry fraction, right? So, and today's discussion was largely around wet waste, and that is probably the reason. Sir, you want to respond?
Yeah, so I think let's we have Indore model, we have SAS model. So a lot of model is already working, which is working good for waste pickers. So waste pickers are earning from their salaries and from the sale of recyclable material, which is quickly available for them in the market. So I think if we practicize the source segregation effectively, the income of waste picker will improve. So I think this is the ecosystem we need to develop.
Okay, great. Okay. Quickly, if you can just ask. I'm sorry, Atin.
Thanks.
You can get me fired.
Then I want to share my idea. Maybe it can be dumb. So I think like as a, I am also a producer, waste producer. I think that when I throw my waste, I found that like there is no dustbin designed something like this that I can separate my waste. When I go to my dustbin, I found like one dustbin and I throw my waste all together. So if I think that if there is a dustbin, something designed like that.
He was the first one to say that. But yeah, I mean, you guys can chat over lunch. Okay. Technologies. So see that there are technologies, right? I think it is more about, and this has been said enough today. It's more about mindset, willingness, right? Participatory approach. एक कोई नहीं कर सकता है, सिटी अकेले नहीं कर सकता है, सिटीजन्स अकेले नहीं कर सकते हैं, राइट? सो आई थिंक इट्स लाइक मिक्स्ड बैग अप्रोच, multi stakeholder approach. That is how we can actually get somewhere, and I think this has been very well covered in today's discussion. So thank you for asking these very pertinent questions. Over to Mao for a quick thank you remark, or Atin can do that.
No, I also have an announcement to make, so I just didn't want to kind of duplicate the efforts. So it's time to, I mean, lunch is already delayed. If I ask if people are hungry, I might get slapped, so I'm not going to do that. So it's just a formality, but an event like this, especially a research, basically we did a study and we found that let us discuss what we found out with the community like this, or all of you. So we did that, but we do it for a purpose. All the panelists contributed with some wonderful points, even Navindu sir, because he focused on something that probably others didn't focus that much, or even the question that I asked was very different to others because questions were asked based on their profile and background. So a big thanks to the panelists, and I'll appreciate if all of us can give them a round of applause as well. So, and thanks to our entire unit, thanks to people who are not even physically here, but they made this event possible. Thanks to our colleague in the CSE office. Thanks to all of you for joining us physically. We are joined by, I don't know how many hundreds on all the social media platforms because this event is being streamed live and it is also recorded. It will be available in YouTube, so you can refer it yourself going forward. You can share it with your colleagues. And it's a great document for us to recollect the discussion and prepare something out of it and share it with the people that matters the most. So thank you all so much. I may have missed few that I should have mentioned in the vote of thanks, but it's a thanks to everybody who made this event possible. Now, for a quick announcement, the space here is very limited because there's an event happening right next hall. So we have shifted the lunch arrangement to the Silver Oak room, which is just you climb the stairs. And the first corridor that you see on your left is where the lunch is. It's on the right. Sorry. Where the lunch is, it is a lot more spacious. So you can enjoy the lunch while having chats with everybody. So thank you all so much. Till we meet again. Take care. Thank you.